All right, we good? You good? Yeah. All right. Yo, welcome to the Beats and Chill podcast. It's your boy Hometown. As you can see, I have some special guests here. I got Tori and Jamie for the girls.
Hey.
What's happening? How y'all doing?
Hi,
So
Derek.
good. How are you?
I'm I'm good, man. Y'all nervous? Y'all all right? Y'all good?
I'm very
so
nervous.
good.
It's
How are
pretty
you?
pretty early today. No.
I'm feeling great. It's
right.
Saturday. It's almost Christmas.
That's true.
You know what I mean? We're in the holiday spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready. I'm happy, joyous, some may even say.
Got any plans for Christmas? For the holidays?
Being
No.
broke.
Spending money.
Usual.
I'm trying to get
Spoiling
my
little
mom.
brother and sister.
I'm trying to get my mom Janet Jackson tickets.
As you should.
Oh shit. She gonna be in
Can't
Tampa?
can't you afterpay those?
No. you just called me broke.
It's Janet Jackson.
They're not that expensive actually, but she's not coming to Tampa. She's gonna be in Orlando and Miami.
Okay.
You gonna drive her out there?
Oh, I don't know about that part, but I will purchase the tickets.
Okay, cool.
So it's
I might look into that. When she gonna be here?
It's in I think it's in sometime next year. It's in the first half of next year.
Okay.
I think it's
Got
like
time.
March or April.
But the
Yeah,
tickets are
something like
out
that.
though. They already.
Yeah, they went on
Okay.
sale Friday. It's like a promo run. Sponsor me, Janet.
Are you saving up for your Beyonce tickets?
I don't need to save up because I've already been saving up, and that's what's wrong with a lot of people. You don't stay ready, so then you got to get ready, and that's not what we're doing.
It's not.
You've been
No.
ready.
Speaking of Beyonce, which is why I wanted you guys here. You guys are the originators of the Tampa's Club Renaissance event.
Yes.
And I just want to go and commend you guys for putting on an amazing event.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? That like it looked like it was fun. I was there for a while. It was fun while I was there. Everyone had a good time. And the reason why I got you guys on the show because from what I was told, this is like you guys' first event. So it's not really common I get to meet people who put on their first event and it's that successful. So I want to kind of like talk about that a little bit. Let's start from the origin of like what made you guys say, okay, let's do this idea.
Well, I just want to preface with anytime there's black women behind the scenes, it's gonna be amazing.
Wow.
Okay.
There's that.
I must be a black woman then. You know what I mean?
Wait,
I'm
but
sure
you have
there's a strong
black women
on the
behind
team.
you, probably.
Exactly.
Helping
true,
you,
true, true.
Exactly.
you know,
True.
guiding you, nurturing you.
That's true. That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
You got a mama.
Yeah. You're right.
Thank her.
You're funny, bro. I would say I've been a Beyonce fan my entire life. I
Yes.
was coming out of the womb, with Destiny Child albums surrounding me. You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
born into the beehive.
Exactly.
Gotcha, okay.
So I've always really loved Beyonce. I've always been a huge fan. So when Renaissance came out, I was just very incensed, I would say, and riled up. Like, I felt very connected to the music, which I hadn't felt in a while. Not that other projects have not moved me this year, because they have, but it was just a different type of experience. Especially because I'm a huge Beyonce fan. So I saw Club Renaissances happening throughout the
Yeah.
country, sponsored by Beyonce and her team. And I was like, dang, I wish we could have one in Tampa. You know what I mean?
As soon as Renaissance dropped, we all
Right.
kind of had the collective like,
We want
where are we
this.
going? Where are we gonna go
Yeah.
listen to Renaissance?
Right. And, we didn't have any tour announcement yet. We had nothing.
We had like one
So we just
visual.
had music. And I feel like the fact that everybody cared so much about the music, you knew that regardless of the event, if the music came on, it was going to be a cool vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was talking to my boyfriend about it. I was like, I want us to have a Club Renaissance. Like, he was like, why don't you do it? And I was like, why would I do that? What credentials do I have? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I was talking to my mom about it. We were talking about it on Twitter. I was like, when is somebody going to have a Club
Same. I
Renaissance?
remember tweeting
Jamie
that
was
same
saying
thing.
that same thing. There were people that I knew who were like either really big Beyonce fans or kind of Beyonce fans who were saying the same thing. So I was like, okay, people actually want this.
Right.
And I started just like, I'm a planner. Like, if you look at my notes app, I have file folders and
Tori is
just
the queen of
ideas.
organization.
No, whoa, don't say that. There's somebody out there saying that is a lie, and they're correct. But I just had like different ideas, but I didn't know what to do, like what the first step was gonna be. And I was like, who do I know who could help me make this a reality. And I hit up this girl.
Okay.
And from there, it was kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of happened. Like, I don't want to say it just happened because things don't just happen. And I think pre-planning and ideation and the time that it took for us to even come together gave us a lot of space to think as individuals and then come together and make things work, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And sometimes you don't hop on things immediately. Like, I probably could have just been like, okay, I'm gonna find a club and have somebody get on stage and perform, or DJ, whatever, and call it a day. But I think the time in between was really important for everyone to feel the music, get into the music, and then for us to like really plan well, you know?
Yeah, when Tori first reached out to me, it was like, one, an honor. Tori and I have literally known each other for
Since
years.
high
High school together.
Oh, that's tight.
And Tori reached out to me and was like, Jamie, I'm gonna do a Club Renaissance. Will you help me? And I was just like, help you? I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know? And I definitely
This
want
girl.
people to know that like if there's a cake, right, and there's icing, Tori is the cake. And I'm the icing on the cake, okay? Like decor, like planning, all of the graphics, all of the graphic design for Club Renaissance was amazing. Tori did that all by herself. Literally, she made fans, she made the T-shirts, she made every single flyer. And Tori's mom and like her aunt, like her mom's friends helped us put everything together for the event. And all of the money that we put into decor just came from ticket sales. Like,
gotcha.
I think the only thing that Tori paid out of our pocket was
The
Tempest,
DJ, the first time.
Yeah.
which we got through you. We love Tika to work. And I just remember feeling so empowered and like appreciated because Tori actually hit me up like a year ago asking me to help her throw an event for a totally different reason. And I was like, no. I was like, I love that you asked me that, Tori, but no, but the feelings that she was explaining be behind Renaissance, like literally I listened to Renaissance so many times in my room dancing, like crying, just because it was so beautiful and I felt so moved. So I know for a fact that other people felt like that. So I think that Tori and I knew that no matter how long it took or when it was going to happen, that it was going to be exactly what it was. I feel like we both visualized that the entire time. But what I love about Tori is that Tori doesn't think she's very organized, but compared to me, all I do is stress and freak out over everything.
Right.
And Tori's like, take a deep breath. This is all you got to do.
Do you know why? I actually explained this to somebody. I said because if somebody else is freaking out, and like my natural nature is to be like filled with anxiety. So if somebody else is freaking out, I'm like, okay, then I have to get to my logical brain. Like, how do I get to my logical brain? And I feel like that's the only reason I can access it. Like, if somebody, like, if I'm just freaking out by myself, I'm gonna just be there.
And Tori did have her freak out days.
Absolutely.
We would swap. And I was like, Tori, don't worry about it. Like, we'll get it figured out. And we were definitely both an anchor for each other the whole time. And it's crazy how fun it was working with Tori. Like, we'd meet up at her house. We'd sit down outside. We're spray painting crates. We're
having a good time.
Arguing over how much balloons are going to cost.
Right.
We're going back and forth with you over the venues and stuff. Like, I wouldn't change anything about it. It was so fun.
But that's what a lot of the energy comes from, too. When you're doing that and you're finding yourself enjoying that process, it just builds the energy to, like, man, we really doing some, like,
that's exactly how it felt.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
exactly
so
how it felt.
Cool, man.
And I will say, like, we weren't the first Club Renaissance to happen in Tampa. There were other, like, Club Renaissance type events. Like, there was a drag brunch. I think there was, like, 2 drag brunches. But there wasn't, like,
Club Renaissance.
Like a club type of experience.
You got the album from front to back.
Right.
And then it was a Beyonce night in between all of that.
Somebody lied and said that they was doing a Beyonce night. And I went, and I heard 3 songs. So you know I was pissed.
I know who you're talking about.
So you know I was pissed.
Right.
And that's the type of stuff that makes me mad, and why I'm glad Jamie and I are doing this stuff that we're doing, because I feel like a lot of people try to, like, first of all, you know Black women are going to show up, and you know they're going to come to an event.
And that's like a bait and switch type of
right. So you bait people into coming, you make it seem like it's going to be an event that's centered around them, and then it's not.
Right.
Or it's filled with people who are predators. So it's like, I feel like there's not a lot of safe spaces for people to go have a good time and
Black queer people and people
not
of color.
feel like something's going to happen to you, or that somebody doesn't actually care about you, or you're not actually the center focus of the event. And that's kind of like the purpose of For the Girls.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's the experience that you're talking about is important in curation, right? Like a lot of people, not once did I hear in that is like, oh, you know, we want to ride off this momentum, like, you know what I'm saying, like you know, this is like you guys' first event, and it's not like, oh, we finna make bank. Or we finna like sell this, that, and the third.
Times how we didn't make any money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like what you looked at is, one, you love the music, you love the artist, right? So you're a fan of it. And then on top of that, you wanted to see what was out there, and as you went and checked it out, you're like, this isn't supposed to be.
There was nobody else doing what.
So it's kind of like you wanted to fill that void for something that you appreciate.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people who get into that curation space, that's not the foundation. A lot of times it's a look, or it's a bag, or it's clout, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's pretty cool, man. Cause that's kind of like how I kind of like went into it with Beats and Chill, and like I was approached by somebody who wanted to do a club renaissance.
I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, it was like, oh, how would you do it in like 6 weeks? And I just was like, man, you know, to be honest, I love the album. Like, this is probably my favorite Beyonce album. You know what I mean? The last Beyonce album I actually liked was the self-titled joint, where she dropped all the videos.
What was wrong with Lemonade?
Lemonade was cool.
Yeah,
Lemonade was cool.
Lemonade.
You know what I mean?
Talk about it.
It was cool. Like I fuck with Lemonade. It just she had some songs and I skip. Like this, I could just play.
What's
like
your favorite song on Renaissance?
My favorite song on Renaissance is Plastic Off the Sofa.
Oh, that's endearing.
What's the song after that? It's like the run, it goes right into that.
That's Plastic Off the Sofa. Oh, I like it, baby. Ooh,
But it's like another song that comes on.
Virgo's Groove.
So those two songs back to back is just like my shit.
You love the vocals. You're there for the vocals.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's like, in my mind, I was like, man, you know, I know that I've been doing Beats and Chill for the last 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And like, we come from a foundation of like hip hop, and we've been experimenting with like other sounds and like genres of R&B and soul and stuff like that. But I didn't feel, me personally, I didn't feel right saying like, yo, we throwing a Beyonce party.
Right.
You know
what
feel
I'm
like
saying?
that's not where like you like originated. That's like
I just didn't feel like,
it was your space.
yeah, like I could have did it, right? But I just felt like right event, just wrong messenger type of vibe.
I get that.
I felt like the right person needed to put that on.
And to touch on that, it's crazy because when me and Tori were talking about Club Renaissance and we were in the very early stages of it, I remember being like, I love Beats and Chill. I love Derek. Every Beats and Chill event I ever went to. The first time I actually ever went out into the Tampa scene and made myself a part of the Tampa scene was at Beats and Chill Ladies Night at the Bricks. And that was back when I was a photographer. And I remember being like there's no other event like this in Tampa. Right. And when I brought it up to Tori, I was like, maybe Dean will sponsor, or maybe Derek will sponsor us. You know, like we can do this event with Derek. It can be Beats and Chill affiliated. And I remember talking to you about it because like I personally just didn't think we could do it ourselves. And I knew like if there was anybody that could help us do it, it would be you. Right. And so the fact that we did reach out to you, and no, you didn't sponsor it necessarily, and you didn't, you know, it wasn't a Beats and Chill affiliated event. You still like helped us in every single capacity that you could have. And I genuinely think that without your help, it wouldn't have been as great. It would have still been Club Renaissance, but getting the DJ, securing the venue, like you had a big hand in helping us secure Club Renaissance also. And I appreciate you for that because never once did you ever make us feel uncomfortable or even charge us for our time. Like you just wanted to help us. And I think that that plays a big role into it too because nobody was going into this like you're going to make so much money or going into this like, oh yeah, like this is going to be a real big deal.
Or let's try to charge you on the back end because we see that you're being successful and now we want to try to get some money off of you.
Right.
You never did that to
us.
I think, and I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? But I think what, in that moment, it was, I knew that we have a reputation that I didn't want, definitely with this being you guys' first event, right? I would say for me, one of the joys that and that you guys probably experienced from this as well is people say, oh my God, I had an amazing time, right? People was like, yo, I haven't had this much fun all year. Like, thank you guys for throwing this, right? And like, you're like, damn, that felt so good. Because you like, I literally just sat at work or at home writing on a pad or something.
Yeah, literally.
And literally this has impacted somebody. Like
Right.
they had the best fun they had all year. And that does something to you. And I know for me, as someone who threw their first event, right, I didn't want that to be tainted by someone or anyone from like that's a fan of Beats and Chill to be like, yo, Beats and Chill killed it. And even though, you know what I'm saying, if could have been a collab or whatever, I didn't want those type of comments to like overshadow any feeling that you guys would get, because I wanted you guys to receive that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
appreciate that. And I think what was most important or impactful from that, like from your end to ours, is like people's willingness to help you in a space where you're new. Like I knew people who had thrown events in Tampa, but they were like college parties, whatever. And that's not the vibe we were trying to go for. So it was like, it just felt wrong reaching out to them. Like they were helpful in certain capacities. Like when you told us, like for example, we can get a venue and like how we could split that with the venue owner, like splitting the door or splitting the bar, whatever. I knew those things from people I had talked to, but it's not like they was using venues that I wanted to use. So I was like, maybe that's not even possible. But like your willingness to say, hey, I'm willing to just help and help
And reach out to people.
Black women in particular, because I've had a lot of Black men be in my face trying to gatekeep stuff where if you didn't, like, you should be able to make things easier for somebody coming after you. Like, if somebody wanted to throw an event and reached out to me or Jamie, I would have no problem telling them, like, everything we did, everybody we reached out to, everyone we talked to, because if we have to do something and struggle through it, and we learn something from it, why would we then not impart that on others and make it easier for everyone else? So I would, I would like to thank you for like making it easier on us to get to the end goal, because I just think it would have taken us, we would have gotten it done. It would have taken longer. You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very important when we're talking about building a cultural scene in Tampa and building community in Tampa. Like, y'all don't even want to talk to each other and help each other out. Like, that's not community.
And like you spoke on there being like a safe space, like the amount of like Black, like queer, like, you know, trans, non-binary, gay, lesbian people in the room, putting themselves up on the stage and dancing, and just, I had so many people walk up to me that night and hug me and thank me and tell me they had never been to an event that nice. And it's like, even if we can never do that again, just being able to do that one time, Tori and I have made ourselves a staple in Tampa, even if we never throw another event again. I thoroughly believe that myself. Because
it was, I'm telling you, that the shit was dope. Like, I think that one of the things that I was like, man, like, it's one thing when you're talking about it and you just pull up to the venue at first, but then you come like maybe an hour into the event and you're seeing like the setup, you're seeing everyone there, you're like, yo, they pulled this shit off. Like, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? And like one of the things that I always struggle with my events is like, I'm the ideal person, but I'm never really the
executor.
Not to say executor, but the decor.
The doer.
You know what I'm saying? My events aren't always decorated the best.
You have like a beat to chill backdrop.
Yeah, you
That's
know.
how you get.
Now let me tell you something about decor. So when it comes to decor, I am a firm believer in your space is going to impact the vibe. I definitely believe that. And if you have the right people, right event, sometimes you can just get away with no decor, less decor. But if it's the wrong people, right event, and no decor, that is a failure to me.
Right.
So I think when it comes to, when I was talking about before, prior planning, like I had visions of what an event like that should look like. And I think that helped a lot. And Pinterest is like everybody's best friend.
Right.
And I think if you want to like decorate a space and you don't know how, that's like a great way to start. But like Jamie was saying, my mom was so helpful. That's my bestie.
We love her.
My mom was so helpful in like coming up with ideas, or like before I would talk to Jamie, I'd be like, Mom, look at this. Like, what do you think? Do you think this would work? Do you think this would be cool?
We literally built our club Renaissance sign out of Christmas lights and cardboard.
Yeah. The whole thing. The crates, let me tell you something about those crates. So I had this idea similar to something that I had seen on Pinterest, but I knew I wanted it to be like a backdrop. We wanted a backdrop type of situation.
Like we wanted to have our own installation.
But everything was like so expensive. And then I saw this like backdrop situation. Well, it wasn't really a backdrop. It was like an installation of giant crates. And it had like flowers in it, whatever. And I was like, this would be so dope.
Right.
I had to go to like, I had to fight for my life.
That's that work,
The
man.
way we should have just started where you ended.
I know, but I don't know if y'all know this, but crates are like, I don't know if it's because y'all was jumping off of them or what, but crates are like hard to find now. I remember you could just ride through the hood and find 15 crates. I went to Publix, and luckily it was a black man, and he was like, I can give you one. And I was like, damn. That's when I figured out, okay, this is like hide and seek type thing. He gave me one. I went to like 4 different restaurants on one street. They all told me no, or that they don't have none. I went to multiple Publixes. I saw 7,500 of them behind one Publix, and they told me they send them back to the milk owners. Whatever. And we ended up going to, what's it called? Sanwa.
On Hillsborough.
Shout out to Sanwa on Hillsborough for giving me, like, packing my entire car with crates.
And helping you put them in your car.
And then I told the girl, I was like, I'll drive you back to the front because it was, like, all the way in the back. And then I realized that my car was filled with crates, and it was a really awkward moment. But all of that was, like when you're talking about building momentum, it's like when you do stuff like that, it's like, this has to work. And this is going to work, and I'm going to make it work. Yes. Or down to even getting the spray paint, like, getting silver spray paint is difficult. Spray painting things white is difficult for some reason. Right. But everything ended up working out, and like all of that coming together on time. Jamie's boyfriend helping out, and what's his name? I forgot his name. His friend Corey helping out, like with the setup, because we're too short.
Not only help us do the setup, but they were the security guards.
Yes. And because I don't do security, but if I know you.
And they were really security.
Exactly.
They were adorable. They had security shirts on to look legit.
So, so people don't try us. But stuff like that along the way, and like the people who helped make it happen. That's why I have a hard time being like, I did X, Y, and Z. Or
because we did not do it alone.
We did X, Y, and Z because I know it was a group communal effort to get it done. Right. But yeah, decor is everything.
And Tori put a lot of emphasis on everything. Like, I want this to be an experience. Like, it was more than just the music, but like that feeling. Like, we had the release yet installation where people could write down things they wanted to let go of and like rip that paper up and throw it into this fish tank. We had the Club Renaissance crate installation. We also had Dahlia from Art House, who we also love, who did a beautiful installation inside where she had her, there was like a projected image that said Club Renaissance and Art House. And then we had Tempest on stage with all like the streamers behind her. She did an amazing job on the ones and twos. Like, it was, everything just went perfectly. I was genuinely surprised that it went so well.
And there were things that definitely, when you talked about like things you could have done better, like there were definitely things that went wrong, but I think it's what you do in those situations, because you probably can't tell that something went wrong or that there was an issue or whatever, like even down to like somebody needing to get out or somebody's car or whatever. And I remember thinking to myself, the worst thing we could do right now is stop the music.
Me on stage like,
here go Jamie. Everybody, whose car is parked? And I'm like, no.
Tori was up to the stage like, put the mic down.
Because I'm like, we have this projector right here. We can just project, hey, move your car. If you know it, if you got your car, you're going to look up, damn, that's my car.
And it's funny because usually if there's an issue like that, I feel like Tori could solve. I'm like, I'm going to go tell Tori. And Tori's mom came up to me once and was like, this car. I'm like, let me go find Tori. Cannot find Tori.
And I'm looking for you at the same time.
I ended up crossing paths with Tori's mom again. And she's like, these cars need to move. And I'm like, okay.
Jamie's on stage like, whoever's car is parked, you need to move right now.
In the back like, boo.
And I'm like, please start the music again. Start the music right now. But we ended up getting,
came back
nothing changed. People were like, okay, now turn that shit back on. And it just worked out. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, or like the fans.
Right, we had a vendor drop last minute.
Like stuff happens, but
white.
That's part of the trade, man. Like,
but
things happen.
If we were to be like, oh my God, everything's wrong, everything's going wrong, we hate it. Everybody else would say the same thing. Y'all should have done this, and this, because now you told them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when artists perform. You know, sometimes they mess up on their words and whatnot. But if they're performing and they just keep going with it,
Right.
you don't know if that's part of the show. You won't even catch it.
And
you know what I mean?
growing up, doing theater in high school, you were always taught
The show goes on.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you just missed an entire line, come back to it if you can, but you just keep going. You keep going. And that's exactly what Tori and I did all night.
So I want to ask you guys this, right? So I know at first, because I remember we was talking about like, all right, how we gonna promote this, right? How we gonna like this, that, and the third? And I think at the time, like, oh, we're just gonna use our page. So then it went from there to then For the Girls pops up. So now you guys created this, essentially a platform. So what
and
is?
it didn't start there. It really didn't.
Well, kind of further explain that. Like, what is For the Girls? What is it? I mean, clearly, it seems like it represents For the Girls, but like, what does it mean moving forward? Like, what is that going to
so I'm gonna give you my short answer and let Tori give you the real answer.
Whoa.
But
I got the real
For the
answer.
Girls isn't just for the girls. For the Girls is for everybody, but specifically for the girls because there's not enough spaces that center women, let alone black women.
Right.
But Tori and I just knew we wanted to promote Club Renaissance, and we felt like just our Instagram pages wasn't enough. So Tori was like, well, what if we just do For the Girls on Instagram? For the Girls Tampa. I'm like, I love that, you know? And it's us thinking we was going to post Club Renaissance on For the Girls and deactivate after and maybe bring it back some other time.
Yeah.
And it kind of just became a staple. It stuck, and we threw Club Renaissance, and we were both like, you want to do this again? I want to do this again.
Right.
And whether
people
or not
came up to us like, oh, you need to do this event.
we
You need to
this
do
night.
this.
We need that night. When the next one?
Right.
I'm
Right.
like,
Oh, okay.
first of all, I'm sweaty. Okay, it's really hot in here.
We're high in demand.
It's really hot in here. Give me 5 days, 5
Right.
working days. But I think to Jamie's point, yeah, like really it just comes down to if you see something and it's not what you want it to be, or if you see a void, like fill it. And that doesn't mean that you have to do 7,000 events each week or there's a set number of things that we have to do. Like, I think it just gives us the creative freedom to do what we want, which is what I think what we both always wanted.
Because
and
Tori
we
and I
were
are creatives at heart.
and we're like looking for it, or I think for me at least, like applying to a bunch of jobs and like hearing no's or hearing nothing back, like you're always searching for validation in a corporation or a boss or whatever, and it's like we can create that space for ourselves the same way we were able to create that space for people to come in and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think For the Girls is a celebration of just knowing that we can do whatever the fuck we want to do. And as long as we have the community behind us, we'll keep doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think there's no set plans, but we know
vibing.
there's things that we want to do, and we're gonna do them. It's very simple to me.
Tight.
And
That's
Tori and I
cool.
just make a great team. Like, and our initials are TB and JB. Like, it
Like,
was just
that's hot.
stars aligned.
TBJB. I don't know what else to tell you.
All right.
He's like, that is insignificant.
So, I really appreciate you guys for just joining me today and like giving me the time to just kind of like get some insight with our audience and whatnot. But what does the future look like for you guys going into 2023? I mean, we're wrapping up at the end of the year. So, what does 2023 look like for the girls?
Tori.
It looks like it's for the girls.
Okay.
That's what
2023 is
looks
for
like.
the girls.
2023 for the girls.
We
Okay.
have an event next week. Actually, it's not
On
like
Friday.
a huge event. It's just a SZA listening party
Okay.
at the park.
We're
It's
gonna
gonna
have
be a little
snacks.
sunset event.
Yeah.
Chill vibe.
Okay.
You know.
Just hanging out.
And really, like, I think building community is like one of the things we really want to focus on. Getting a lot of insight from other people, because like we know what we want to see, but also it matters what other people want to see, of course. But we're looking forward to collaborations.
Yes.
And finding event spaces that are good. So if you have an event space, hit us up, because what the hell?
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
Either people don't want to get back to you,
Right.
or
They want to charge you $1,700.
We would be here all day. We would be here all day talking about venues.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
With that being said, let people know where they can find you guys for the girls and they can keep up with events.
So you can find us on
Social
Instagram
media chair.
at For the Girls Tampa.
Yeah.
You can also find Tori on Instagram at
you.
Tori.Briana, Briana. And you can find me on Instagram at Jamie Bullock, like Sandra, with an extra K on the end.
That's cute. That's how you. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that's how you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's clapping for us. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all. Those were correct.
Yes. And you guys will be hearing a lot more from For the Girls soon. We had like a little hibernation period because Club Renaissance was a lot in a good way, but we will be back and better than ever in 2023. But until then, if you're looking for something to do, next Friday we are hosting a SZA listening party
At Lettuce Lake Park, 5:30 p.m. It's $2 to park, but free to come hang out.
Free to come hang out.
So come slide
And
and vibe.
thank you for having us, Derek.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you
Thank
for
you.
everything.
We
Like
love you.
you're the coolest.
And
Seriously.
everybody that helped with Club Renaissance, Dahlia, Tempest, Takeo,
Takeo,
literally everybody.
my
Tori's
mommy,
family, her mom,
Auntie Leah,
my boyfriend, Corey.
my boyfriend.
Our promo team, we love the promo team. You guys
Shout
are
out
beautiful.
to the promo team. Oh, they did such a good job.
They did.
They were real.
They're
they
sexy people.
Thank you
agree.
guys, man, for pulling up on us. You know what I mean? It's the Beats and Chill podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Hometown. We out. Peace.
Want me to beatbox them out? Put some cats in, put some cats in.